Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Dub Dad. We're going to talk about Jeff Jones' Sylvan build. A lot of YouTubers have already put the deck list up for everyone to see, but I want you guys to check out the my analyzation of it, I should say, and so this is sort of my thoughts and how I thought this build was a really good example of how to metagame a tournament. So starting off with the build, we got 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Curb Bandit, 2 Lone Fire, 3 Rose Archer, Spore, Cherub Sprout, 3 Hermit Tree, 3 Mushroomo, 3 Marshall Leaf, 3 Princess Sprout, 3 Sage Quaya, 3 Fertilizer, 3 Mount Sylvania, 3 Soul Charge, 3 Sylvan Charity, 2 Dinah, 3 Chalice, 3 MST, 2 Encore, 1 Dust, 2 Rivalry, 2 Universe, the extra deck, Armory, Bird, Leo, Scrap, Star Eater, Stardust, I'll say 2 Felgrand, Heliopolis, Dracossack, Engineer, Big Eye, Giant Grinder, and Aurea. So what we know right off the bat is no traps in the main deck. Like I said, example of how to metagame a tournament. Nobody wants to get caught up in the freaking wiretap wars. And I had been saying to some people I know, and I've said a couple times, people helping them out building their decks, if you choose to run like a slim trap lineup, like maybe a couple Wind Blast and Breakthrough Skill, you run the risk of that shit getting wiretapped, because so many decks are playing wiretap and 7 tools and whatnot. When they finally have an opportunity to use those cards, they're going to jump at it. You have that one card sitting there, and they have a set wiretap. I mean, they're going to try to get value of that wiretap because they realize that you run no other traps. So he chose to forego those traps, I believe, for that reason. Instead, he chose to run Rose Archer, and what Rose Archer allows him to do is negate traps from the hand while making his play. Or even, like, let's say he starts off a Curry Bandit. Looking at his deck, you see he has lots of good mills with his Sylvans. If his opponent in phase Gear, he has a Rose Archer, he can stop that play cold and force him to play fair Yu-Gi-Oh, while on his next turn he doesn't have to play fair Yu-Gi-Oh. Going on to Triple Effect Veiler, that goes in more with not running traps. I think with this deck, if you have an established Stardust or Leo, Felgrand, Dracossack, those kind of things, the only things you're afraid of are cards like Tiramisu, maybe 101, Exciton, things of that nature that you do not want going off. And I think that's what you would save your Effect Veiler for. Not to mention, once it hits the grave and you Soul Charge, you have the option to bring it back as a tuner to go into your various synchros. Interesting inclusion in his build is the one of Cherub Sprout. That allows him to either get his Princess Sprout from the deck and start combos, or get his Spore from his deck to synchro, and then perhaps double synchro if he can, like, synchro with the Sage Quaya and then banish the Sage Quaya, the Spore's level 8, and then exceeding the Felgrand with the Hermit Tree. So making big power plays like that, in my opinion, seem pretty good. The inclusion of the 3 Mushroom, I originally didn't like the Mushrooms and the Marshall Leaf when I first looked at this, as well as the Sylvania, but then I noticed the possibilities you have with being able to play passive against Hat and other normal summon attack type decks, attack. Mushroom stalls them off. Not to mention it's a pretty good mill, popping back rows randomly, and the good 5-card excavation effect, that's just amazing. Marshall Leaf kind of acts like marksman from Mermills, so that's good inclusion. Plus, on normal summon, you can mill 2, so when you don't have access to your trees, you at the very least have your Marshall Leaf to get some of your plays going. Uh, the inclusion of Mount Sylvania. Again, I did not like this card at first, and when I saw his build, I'm like, why is he playing a card? This card is so bad. But once again, it goes back to metagaming a tournament with the top decks not main decking MST. For the most part, Sylvania's going to stick. And what I figure is for the players that are running MST in the main deck, they're either, no offense, either a lesser player or they're running a lesser deck. And more times than not, they're going to make what appears to be the correct play in MSTing the Sylvania after he discards, because generally that's the correct play, make you go -1, not realizing that just like in Dragoonides, if you allow them to get the card they want in the graveyard, they can still continue to combo off. So if you do have the MST, it's best to MST the Sylvania at activation and then just hope that they don't have a second one, so they can't dump the Hermitry, so they can't dump the Sage Koya, those kind of things, and start their combos off with Soul Charge or Miracle Fertilizer, that kind of thing. You kind of a lose-lose, because now you give up back row, you kind of 1-for-1, but at the same time you save yourself from those big combo power plays. Something else to look at is again the Rose Archer. Now, I thought that this card was bad, and when I heard people were running this card, I was just like, you have to hope to draw it. It's a one-shot thing. But that was in builds that were running Wind Blast and all these other cards, that were, in my opinion, bad. So it's just like, you're going to be forced to pitch Rose Archer for your Wind Blast because you're not going to have anything else to pitch. But since he's not running any traps, that kind of makes Rose Archer shine in a brighter light, in my opinion. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that card. Going on to the side deck, now this kind of confused me with the Fossil Dynasts until I thought about the strategy you would use back in the day with Plant Synchro, where you would, or I say Tengu Tour Guide Plants, where you would drop your BLS and then summon Thunder King next to it, so your opponent couldn't answer it with the Black Rose Dragon or Colossal Fighter or their own BLS, because Fossil Dyna would protect it. Or I'm sorry, because Thunder King would protect your BLS, and the same goes here with the Fossil Dyna. You drop your Felgrand and then summon your Fossil Dyna next to it, and they kind of work hand in hand protecting each other. So that came to mind. The Chalice over the breakthrough skills, again, you avoid Wiretap. MST, Dust Tornado, clear back rows. Encore, I imagine that this deck would pretty much scoop to Ophion, and I think that was his concession to the fact that he auto loses to Ophion if they go Ophion set 5. Rivalry, that card completely screws over Madolches, Infernities, Mermails if they can't clear it. And then, of course, Xyz Universe, a new hot side deck tech against Geargis. And to some extent, Madolches, if they happen to drop Levier, then go into Tiramisu, you flip this, and then you bring out your Draco Sack off their Levier and Tiramisu. So, that's pretty cool. Well, these are just my thoughts about his build. I hope that some of my analysis made sense to you guys. Again, just leave it to Jeff Jones to completely change the way many of us look at this deck. I knew the deck was strong. I just could not figure out how to overcome a lot of the deck building paradoxes where you need to protect yourself when you're trying to make a push, and then you need to be able to push, and then not get counter pushed. And the inclusions of the Rose Archers and Effect Veilers, show that. And then being able to use a Cherub Sprout to suck your Spore out of your deck immediately, so you don't have to use Lone Fire Blossom to do it. That's pretty amazing to get it online, to go into your Stardust and Scrap Dragon and Leo, Star Eater, to make your Xyz plays. That's really, really cool. Really good foresight. Obviously, the end result of a lot of play testing. This is Dub K Dad. Let me know what you guys think about my analysis, and I'm out.